Growing up in the 90s, my childhood was filled with a whole bunch of now extinct catchphrases like cowabunga, tubular, affordable starter homes, and eat my shorts. And my first gaming console was the Sega Genesis, and I fell in love with the blue blur Sonic the Hedgehog.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And as I grew older, my changes in gaming and many other things changed, and Sonic the Hedgehog introduced a brand new character that completely aligned with my angsty teenager taste, Shadow the Hedgehog. And today, Sega asked me to take a look at Sonic X Shadow Generations. Sonic X Shadow Generations is going to be coming out October 25th for PS4 and 5, Xbox One Series S and X, Nintendo Switch, Steam, and Epic Games. Sonic X Shadow Generations is essentially broken down into two parts. There's the Sonic Generation side, and then there's the Shadow Generation side. The Sonic Generation side is mostly just a remaster of the base Sonic Generations game with a few additions here and there. Also, it looks phenomenal. They sent me a review copy for PS5. I'm playing it at 1440p at 60 FPS, and the game is gorgeous. If you already played Sonic Generations, there's not a lot changed here, but there is some big differences. Firstly, your boost is no longer a face button. Now it's going to be ZR or R2, depending on which controller that you're going to be playing on. And it makes it so much easier for you to just go ahead and dash ahead and not have finger fatigue of actually slamming down on that face button. Another big change is a skill that they have for Sonic. Returning from Sonic Mania, the drop dash is back. So anytime that you're in the air, if you just hold down the jump button again, you're going to be able to do that spin dash going down and instantly gain speed anytime that you need. So if you've played Sonic Generations hundreds of times and you know every single level in and out, you might be able to get better, faster times on your previous records. Every level also has new collectibles of chows that are going to be in the stages. So as you're going through, there's an optional 3 of them for you to go ahead and find and get those collectibles as well. But some of the basics, like where the red rings are, that remains largely unchanged, so you're going to have some familiarity to it. If you haven't played Sonic Generations, this game is beautiful, and before Sonic Generations, I have not enjoyed a Sonic game in quite a while. I don't know if the Sega team is okay with me saying that, but that's just the God's honest truth, and that's what I'm going to tell you. The 3D levels have some of these 2D areas, and then the 2D levels are a flat 2D. Big fan. Really enjoy it. And yeah, the Sonic side is cool and all, but I know that's not what you're here for. Starting up the Shadow Generation side, you're going to get access to Shadow's story, which gives you a quick recap on all the events of Shadow's past. He forgot his memory, he was experimented on, he had to learn about what happened with Dr. Robotnik's grandfather and how he got the evil DNA put into him that either you are very familiar with, or you may have forgotten, or you don't know about. Either way, it's a nice little recap. I also know for a fact that Shadow fans have been waiting a long time for a Shadow game. I'm not going to be discussing anything about the game up until the first boss. So the first level, the second level, and the boss fight with some of the extras that you can do during that time. That's the only bit that I'm going to be discussing, with nothing else about the plot. Oh, because I have the digital deluxe edition, Shadow has the skin. I'm gonna go turn that off. Shadow handles somewhat similar, yet somehow different to Sonic. It's not like a complete one-to-one clone. Shadow does move, it feels a little bit slower, and that's to be expected because, you know, Sonic's the fastest thing ever. Oh, I went into the water. You're also going to notice at the bottom we have L2 to hit Chaos Control. Chaos Control can be done anytime during a level, and for some of the time trials and things like that, it's going to be very, very useful. As shown off in the trailer, Shadow's going to be getting access to a whole bunch of new abilities called Doom Powers. So if you come to these large obelisks and interact with them, there's a little cutscene that plays, and a whole bunch of black goo comes out and it touches Shadow in places that he doesn't like. Now Shadow gets a giant manta ray. This is called Doom Surf, and now you can move freely on water, which I'm so thankful for because, let's be honest, hedgehogs can't move on water. But now that's no longer a hazard. Love it. Throughout the world, you're going to be finding machine parts, and then you can interact with some of our returning friends over here and give them your machine parts for something you can explore later. And one of the first levels that you do is called Rail Canyon. Let's be honest, one of the best parts about Sonic and Shadow is all the rail stuff they do, and this level is mostly rails. This is the first level that I decided that I was going to go and just replay it over and over and over until I got a perfect score on. You get access to Doom Spears that can stun enemies and also can disable some stronger enemies. You get the same R2 burst that Sonic has, and except when you run forward, you just kind of glide off of the ground. I think that's one of my favorite parts about Shadow's animation. Because Chaos Control is such a dynamic thing, you saw how I just missed that because those two guys destroyed that rail right there? If we go back to that same area, and now if I were to use Chaos Control, those guys are frozen, and now I can go up this rail. Just by that activation of them not being able to destroy the course in front of me. And Chaos Control is so much more than just a simple concept to defeat enemies or get over obstacles. So between you going through and trying to explore the levels to make sure that you didn't miss anything, mixed with you wanting to do it fast, I'm enjoying replaying these levels so much. And I'm not the type of person who likes to play a Sonic level 30, 40 times. Oh look, here's these giant trains, and now they're no longer a bother. Oh, there's a left rail. I didn't even know that left rail was there. Where's that left rail take me? Oh, now I don't have Chaos Control. Wait, was this a huge time save? That's a little bit of a time save. Halfway through a level, you may experience the level starts to change and shift. And when you're in this part of the level, you're not able to use Chaos Control. You can see that little lock thing down there. And Doom's Eye is going to be taunting you the whole way. I wasn't fast enough to do that, so I didn't get to do it yet. I love these areas. They're so cool looking. And this area where everything is all changed in dimensions and orientations and prismatic. I feel like I'm in someone's dream within a dream within a dream. Doom Spear is also a great way for you to go ahead and stun some enemies. That way they are not going to be nearly as much of a bother. And balancing stunning enemies while being able to get through a level as fast as possible. It's also fantastic level design, so you got to see how this mechanic worked, and then you have to do it while doing two different things mixed together. Great times. And now if we use Chaos Control, we can freeze those enemies. That way I don't have to deal with them, and we can hit this rail coming up here. Then we have these giant gun trains that are trying to chew us down. Come on, classic Sonic Adventure stuff here. And these rail courses, the way that the obstacles and the rings and everything are laid out, you're just constantly boosting the entire time. Oh, look, it's one of the collectibles I was telling you about. So there's 3 collectibles in every level, and that goes the same for Sonic and Shadow's games. So when you're going through the Sonic games, you can come across them, and during the Shadow levels, you come across them. I didn't even talk about the hub world. So the hub world is very Sonic Frontiers. It's open, there's little puzzles, there's little things for you to find and collect everywhere. And then once you, oh look, here's another thing I need to go ahead and collect. You got artwork number 32, check it out in the collection room. I know that some Shadow fans are very much looking forward to a collection room. These things are everywhere, there are so many of them to unlock, you're gonna have a fun time with it. And look, it's one of the machine bolts. You're also going to be coming across challenge levels, and these are done in order for you to actually go ahead and unlock the boss keys. The challenge levels could be something simple like collect rings and make your way to the exit, or there's only one ring on the entire level, don't die. And it's like a small section of the level that you just played, but you're experiencing it in a new way, or there's different power-ups, and you don't need to be amazing to complete the levels. If you're rusty, if you don't remember how Shadow controls, and you're going through here and you're taking your time, that's absolutely fine, because you just have to pass the challenge in order for you to get the boss key, so it's not like your ability to actually do well in a level is going to limit your progress. The only thing it's going to be limiting is how fast of a score you're getting. You'll see at the top right underneath my rings where it says S, that tells you what your current time is in reference to what grade you're going to be getting at the end of the level. So you already know if you're on time for an S score or not. That way, if you're not, you can just go ahead and restart the level. Nice, easy peasy. Also, that retry time is so fast. I love that. Oh, that was one of the collectibles. Happened so fast, didn't even realize it. Just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Oh, we can go ahead and activate Chaos Control, which, as you're going to see in the top right, disables that timer, so we're able to actually get a better score. Once you go ahead and finish these challenge levels, you are going to be collecting yourself the boss keys to unlock the boss battle, which includes some of the returning ones that, if you're a big fan of Shadow the Hedgehog, you may be able to guess some of them coming back. And I kind of don't want to even ruin that for you. What just flew past me? What is that? What's that thing? I rambled on for long enough. I'm really enjoying Sonic X Shadow Generations. Comes out October 25th, early access 22nd for every system except for the Nintendo Switch, but it's on pretty much every single system except for like the Game Boy Advance. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time, Austin John out. You know, I was kind of expecting a question on why I was ordering chili dogs dressed like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Honestly, I've seen it before, so.
It's nothing new to me.
Why are you dressed like Sonic the Hedgehog? Isn't he coming out with a movie?
He's coming out with a movie, but in 2 weeks, Sonic X Shadow Generations comes out.
Okay. I can appreciate the dress up. I like it.
Have to get in the character, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have a great one, all right? Take care.
You too.